You just don't quit. Things are going to get hard. You're going to be down. You don't quit. You keep fighting. Other people just quit and they're very mediocre. They'll never play at that level, right? Even some people that play at that level don't do that, all right? That is what you just have to keep going. Hey guys, it's Eric Green. Look, I'm on the road. You can tell I'm in a hotel room if you're watching the video. And got together. I'm in New Jersey. Got together with my buddy Leonard Marshall, former New York Giants star, and we were talking last night. And the big play came up. I don't know if you remember this, but you probably do if you're a football fan. The 1990 NFC Championship, New York Giants against the San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana, it kind of tries to head out to his right, starts kind of backpedaling, and Leonard Marshall just comes in and Leonard just lays him out. Clean hit, hard hit. And the in the conversation last night, the thing I remembered, because at the time I was playing college football, and I remember my coach pointing to that, because if you watch the play very carefully, Leonard's blocked. He's down on the ground. And he fights his way, gets back up, and starts pursuing. Joe Montana ends up fading to his right and then kind of backpedaling back into the center, and Leonard just comes in and hits him. I remember my coaches pointing that out. The play isn't over till it's over. Get up, keep fighting until the whistle blows. It's live. When I was talking to Leonard last night, I said, do you remember? He's like, oh, no. He said they taught him at LSU. The way his coach put it, the ground is hot. What does that mean? If you're on the ground, get up. Pretend it's hot. You're getting burned. You get up and you keep fighting. And that's why Defensive Player of the Year twice, 2 Pro Bowls, Super Bowl rings. He is just a star. But it's that, and the way he put it, the never quit. The play isn't over. You keep crawling and grinding, and you'll win. You will win. The person that gives up, right? And if you watch that, I'm not picking on the 49ers player. Leonard's sort of on the ground, and the San Francisco lineman kind of let up. And you see Leonard kind of stumble, and he gets back up, and he's pursuing. And I can't see his face, but I can guarantee you that 49ers lineman was like, oh, shit, right? Because Joe came kind of, backpedaling back, and Leonard just lays him out, right? Huge play, turning point in the game. And Leonard later went to the hospital to see Joe Montana. I mean, he felt bad. He's such a sweet guy. Listen, you play the football, you play the game full speed, but he wasn't out to hurt Joe Montana. And he mentioned that lesson continues on in all of his entrepreneurial stuff. You just don't quit. Things are going to get hard. You're going to be down. You don't quit. You keep fighting. Other people just quit. And they're very mediocre. They'll never play at that level. Right? Even some people that play at that level don't do that. All right. That is what you just have to keep going. And in my $1 Million Practice book, I talk about this. It's really about the discipline. All right. You will build whatever, if it's $1 million practice, whatever it is you want your practice to be, you will build that, but you're going to build it on the dark, stormy, hard days when you want to quit. That's what makes the difference. If you're happy being ordinary, you don't have to do anything. Just breathe. You're ordinary. Congratulations. If you want to get, and maybe you don't, but if you want to get to the next level, there just has to be, I'm going to keep grinding at this. It's going to be hard. That's why it's next level. If everyone could do it easily, it wouldn't be next level anymore. It'd be average. To get your practice to where you want to be, that's what you have to do. When I started with one of my old law firms, before Jeff and I left and went on our own, they pointed to some people as really the examples of people that you should, kind of look at. One, Chuck Reddig, out at his firm in LA, later became IRS commissioner. Brian Scarlatos, who is the managing partner at Castellan, it's now in New York. These guys who just built tremendous practices. Frank Agostino, Caroline Cirolo. I mean, the list goes on. Because I wanted to be like them, the great advice is, well, just do what they do. I know they may seem like other level intelligence, and they're very bright. I'm not taking away from them, but they're not, it's not like astrophysics here. And so in watching them, they speak. They were at the time we were writing articles and doing all of that stuff. Today I'm more blogging, doing the podcast, all of that. Just do what they do. And that's how I built my $1 million practice. If you want to do that, just do what we do. You have to become disciplined. You're not going to give up. Yeah, stuff's going to go wrong. You're not going to get the client, all of that. Put the things in place, keep going, keep putting out content, keep speaking out there. This cannot not work. It must work. All right. I'm not sure how long it'll take. Maybe it'll be faster. Maybe it'll be slower. But the point is, you don't quit. You just keep going. All right. So just in my thought, it struck me last night listening to Leonard over dinner and then over cigars. I was like, that's the lesson. And not only that, it's not just in sports. It is in my buddy Steve, who was on, the former Navy SEAL. In buds, people quit. People get tired. People get overwhelmed. He said, my goal is to get to the next meal. And in 6 months, if I do that, I'll graduate. And he did. You're just not going to quit. It's going to be hard. You're just going to keep going. Because what's the alternative? Quit. No need. I assure you, what you want to do, you can do. All right. So with that, guys, I know it's a quick one, but it was a lesson that I knew it, but it kind of struck me very clearly last night in the conversation. And I think that I'm going to try to get Leonard on the podcast, by the way. We talked about it last night. We'll get him on. But it really is about the determination and the drive to just not quit. Rome wasn't built in a day. All right. It's like the old, how do you build a pyramid? One brick at a time. You just keep piling brick on top of brick and you just keep going. And before you know it, you got a pyramid. You just keep going. And eventually you will have the practice that you want. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next week on the Tax Rep Network podcast.